All right, hello. So I'm going to do a little follow-up video here to the one I just did on the corrector tuning. And I'm going to talk about something that is actually quite important that I kind of just glossed over in that video. And that's the intensity list focus when you are in STEM mode, okay? So in order to do this, you don't need to be over anything for this. In fact, it's best if you're over vacuum when you actually do this. It's going to be easier to see because we're going to be looking at an image of the probe. Okay, so it's best if you're just over nothing. So right now, I'm over nothing. I had a stored stage position here. As you can see, that's just vacuum. So that's where I am right now. Oh, and by the way, I got the piezo to work again. I had to reset the power supply in one of the control racks, and that did it. So thankfully, I didn't have to reboot reboot the UI or the server or any of that. So, anyways, all right. So before we head into STEM mode, we want to check the mono centering and the focus here. I mean, I actually just did this a minute ago, so it should still be fine. And then if we wanted to as well, we can very quickly check the C2 aperture centering. Turn off C3. Should still be good because I didn't change it from yesterday. Yeah, so it's close. Go ahead and tweak this. All right, looks good. Go back to TEM mode or 3 condenser mode. Okay, and now at this point we can go to STEM and hit the STEM button. Okay. Okay, so we want to be at high mag when we're doing this. Camera length doesn't matter at all because we're going to switch into we're going to turn off diffraction here in a second. We do want the probe centered though, so if we go to acquisition here and just very quickly start and then right click on the beam position marker and center, we want to make sure that's centered. It already was, so we're good there. And this is the direct disc. It's not centered right now, but that's not really a problem anyway. That's with the projector system. So, all right, I'm going to turn diffraction off, and we're going to get a look at the probe. And okay, and I've got the STEM detector still in, so let me pull that out. Okay, so here's my image of the probe. Now, I could go one click higher. Yes, this is the highest I can go in STEM SA mode, okay? Again, this is with diffraction off. So, you want to be pretty high in mag when you do this, okay? If you wanted to max it out like this, you could. I mean, it should work fine, really, anywhere from SA 180 to 380. So I'll leave it at 295 here. Sometimes less is more, so to speak, okay? But anyways, um, let's go to let's find direct alignments. Okay, so in direct alignments, there is an alignment that says intensity list focus, okay? So when you click this, what happens is your focus knob gets coupled to the C3 lens, okay? And then you can use that to modify the C3 lens and focus your probe, okay? So right now, we don't have a good setting for C3, okay? Because we're not seeing a focused probe, okay? Keep in mind, of course, you can't do anything about the objective. The objective is what it is, that's set at the service level. You do want to make sure, though, when you go into STEM mode that you are at eccentric focus. So, I mean, it's saying defocus 0. I would go ahead just to be safe, push eccentric focus, okay? Anyway. Okay, and there we go. Now we're a little off center with the beam, so I'm going to open up S-core use my user beam shift here. Again, we don't want to send anything to the corrector from the microscope, so we want to do everything through S-core here. Okay. And then we can turn off the screen marks. Now, another thing I want to point out, I've mentioned this a few times before. If you go to the STEM tab and you find the STEM panel and you open up the flap out and you go to focus here, you have the option here with focus to, there's a bunch of things here, okay? So if you click on intensity, then your focus knob only controls C3. If you have objective, your focus knob controls your objective. If you have intensity and objective, your focus knob controls objective. Your intensity changes C3, okay? I don't recommend that you use anything but objective here, okay? The changes that we're gonna make, so right now my intensity knob, I'm spinning it, it's doing nothing, okay? That's by design to make sure that you don't cause a problem, okay? So if we want to make a change to C3, we're gonna do it through that direct alignment for the intensity list focus, okay? All right, so we're gonna go back to alignments or wherever you have direct alignments and click intensity list focus, okay? And now you can see my focus knob is changing C3, okay? So what am I looking for here? I am looking for a nice sharp, tight spot. Now you'll notice I've got some astigmatism here, okay? This is gonna make it a little tricky to focus. So what you can do here, if you want, go to S-core, click on ATA1, and you can minimize this as best you can, okay? Now, unfortunately, S-core doesn't remember this as a function of the spot size, okay? So this is only, this is just whatever setting it is. So if you change spot size, it doesn't remember, okay? So, but what we're looking for is basically something about like that, okay? So right about that. Now, if you keep going, if I keep going clockwise, I'm gonna smear it out, okay? And I don't see that anymore, so that's too far, okay? Now, the camera, unfortunately, so right about here looks really good, okay? The camera, unfortunately, can kind of play some tricks on you here. So that's 31, 121. So if I go back here, yeah, so that's pretty close right there. If I go back, see, it depends on kind of how you go back. If you go back from over focus to under focus, you might get a little bit of a difference. See right there, right? So it's a little bit, yeah, I'm gonna say right there, actually. Okay, let me make it a nice round number. So we'll do 31, 13, okay? All right, so there we go. So there's our optimal intensity list focus. And I'm gonna play around with this some more because I'm not OCD here. Yeah, so you gotta be, yeah, we'll go 3113, 31.13, okay? And then you click done. Now that stores C3 when you press eccentric focus, okay? So this is now set here, and this is again spot size dependent, okay? Now, once we go through these, if we go and we update the alignment file, these will all get saved in the alignment file, okay? So we're gonna go to the beam settings and let's start at 11 and we'll work our way down the spot numbers. Okay, so we'll click 11 and we can see that that doesn't look good either. So intensity list. Now in principle, you should find that your intensity list value, the C3 lens should be close to the same, irrespective of the spot number, okay, in terms of your optimal focus. There might be a little bit of variation, but it should be very close here. Right, and again, I'm gonna see if I can, all right, so that's a little bit better with that. So if you recall, my optimal value was, yeah, so that's the same one I had before. So we'll see if this works, okay? 31.13, click done. We'll go to 10 and do the same thing. That's another thing you can do too, if you know, if you, because it's going to be easier to see the spot, um, or get it tight at the higher spot numbers. So you can, if you want, you can do this at one spot number, and then you can just go back and set your C3 for every single spot number to be the same value. Yeah, see, that looks good. Done. Go here. So I actually did this yesterday, but then I thought, oh, I need to show people how to do this actually. So I intentionally threw it off, so you can see how it's done. Okay, and again, I'm having to go here and tweak S core here. Now the beam tilt is off. You don't need to worry about that, the beam tilt being off. You can adjust it in S core if you want to help you, but this is, completely irrelevant in terms of actually finding your optimal C3. But again, whatever changes you want to make to the probe shape, do it through S core, okay? Don't do it through the Stigmator panel here. Okay, let's see here. 31.13. Yeah, looks good to me. If I go back here, yeah, see it's washed out too much. Again, if you're not careful, you're gonna drive yourself crazy, like looking at this over and over again, okay? Yeah, see right there. Yep, so 31.13. Yeah, and unfortunately, the way the camera works, because it's auto adjusting to try and stretch the histogram here, so it's gonna play some tricks on you in terms of how this looks. So just something you have to bear with. All right, moving along to spot 8. You see that looks good right there, 31.13. Okay, yeah, still looks good, I think. Okay, good. Okay, so then we already set 6, right? So it remembered the setting, okay? So don't need to do this one. We'll go straight to 5. You do have to go through and do this for every spot number though, unfortunately. All right, so we got a little bit of A1 there. So we'll go ahead and see if we can get rid of that. And that's close enough. You can't get it any better without going to A1 fine, which I don't want to do for this purpose. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks reasonable here. I mean, again, go back here. To an extent, you're kind of like convincing yourself, right? Are you convincing yourself that that's the optimal setting? Okay, looks good. So you should see the spot get bigger as the spot number goes down, okay? Because you should have a larger probe as your spot number decreases, okay? So this is, looks a little bigger at spot 4 than it did at spot 10, and that's, to be expected. Yeah, so it's close enough, I think. Okay, done. So this would be very tough to do if we were not over vacuum. Okay, that's why I mentioned that before. You need to be over vacuum when you're doing this. Let's see if we can't stigmate that a little better. Okay, that looks a little better. Looks good. All right, one more. We don't usually do much with spot number 1 in practice, but let's go ahead and we'll fix it anyway. So we can say that we did. Just to give us the satisfaction of knowing that we aligned everything. So now you can see here, this is definitely, so spot 1 is always a little bit, a little bit, what's the word? It doesn't kind of follow, I guess, norms or what you would think of like normal behavior, right? So that's why they always tell you don't usually use spot 1. But anyways, you can see we're a little bit off from 31.13 here. I mean, if we put this at 31.13, that clearly looks a little too, we're not seeing a sharp spot there. So I would say that in at least at spot 1, we have to deviate from that just a little bit. Okay. So I'd say probably around there. Okay. Let's put it at 31 flat just to give it a round number. That's close enough. Okay. All right, done. So if we go back to say 10, all right, so now we've got some astigmatism here because we changed this. So if we get that out, yeah, so it looks good. Okay. But yeah, you can see the difference in the size of this, right? Because we're at spot 10 versus spot 1. So, okay. So now, once you have these dialed in, okay, to make sure, like if someone accidentally throws these off, okay, you can go to alignments, find your file, and click save. Okay, and these will get saved in. Okay, so if somebody happens to, mess them up, it's easy to just recover it that way. Okay, or of course you can reset them because this objective value will not change. Okay, again, if this is set properly, right, when we're tilting, we should not see that spot move around, right? So it's staying still. Okay, so that's how we know the objective is set to what it should be. Okay. Right. And so that was the additional video I wanted to show, specifically talking about the intensity list focus direct alignment. All right. Thanks again, everybody.